I reloaded 10 rounds for my 308 with the worst components I have. My dad wanted to get rid of his reloading stuff and asked me if I wanted it. It's all stuff from the late 80s and early 90s. Bullet boxes that had been spilled and mixed, powder and primers that had been stored in a shed and exposed to Utah temperature swings for over 30 years. The brass was all Winchester, but I have no idea how many times it had been fired. There were some Spear and Hornady 130 grain spear points that had been mixed, and I sorted those the best that I could, but I'm not sure which is which, and these are potentially mixed brands. The more that I shoot large sample sizes, the more convinced I am that nothing really matters. If you have a good rifle, it's going to shoot everything pretty well. And so I thought I would put these crappy hand loads against what I would consider my pet load for a 308. With about 43 grains of Varget and 168 grains Sierra Match King, this gun can shoot 5-shot groups under an inch almost every time. 10-shot groups right at an inch, 30-shot groups about 1.25 inches. So I just pulled a load right out of the middle, 45 grains, should be going about 2,800 feet per second. My barrel is a 20-inch barrel. We'll be shooting at this target, and that circle is 2 inches. I'm using a Harris bipod mounted to a sling swivel stud and a rear bag. I don't use the F word on my channel, and I know a lot of guys would be tempted to call this a flyer, but I know this rifle will shoot about 1.25 inches if I shoot 30 shots, and 1.25 and 1.41 are very close to the same thing. So until I shot 10 or even 20 more, I'm just going to call this part of the group that I don't like. In the real world, it's called a miss. Hunting, competing, no one cares. You can't call it a flyer and get a deer to come back and let you shoot at it one more time. Until you can identify why a shot may have hit out there, you need to count it as part of your shot distribution. You're doing yourself a disservice to ignore it. I know for sure this powder was stored in a metal shed for at least 25 years. And it looks the way that it should, it smells the way it should, the accuracy was good, the velocity is right where the book says it should be, even a little bit faster. Extreme spread, standard deviation, all good. I have to say I am pretty surprised. So it would be interesting for me to load 10 more of these and shoot them at this same target, which I'll probably do that in another video. But it also has me wondering, what can I do to make this rifle shoot worse? I don't want to do anything dangerous or stupid, but do I have a combination that really is going to shoot like crap? I honestly do think that load development is BS, and I know we all have these pet loads that we think are so accurate, but I think it's just because any reasonable powder and a reasonable bullet in a good rifle is going to shoot. And we think we found this load, where really all the loads shoot the same. We reach these conclusions off of 3 or 5 shot groups, and it's just simply not true. I might be wrong. I have a lot of different powders and bullets that are compatible with the 308, so I am going to try to find a load that really will not shoot well in this rifle. This is the rifle that I'm shooting today. It's a Remington 700 LTR. That's light tactical rifle. It was in their law enforcement line. It's got a 20-inch heavy fluted barrel, but it's straight from the factory. It was made in 2005. The rifle alone weighs 7.5 pounds. It's an HS Precision stock. At this time, a Remington 700 was still the king. Don't forget, all of these custom actions are 700 clones. This rifle now is 20 years old, and I paid about $800 for it, but I'd put it against any rifle. If you are strictly a hunter that wants to reload, I don't think there's any point in you doing load development. Pick the bullet that you want to shoot and the velocity that you want it to shoot at with about any powder listed in the manuals, and it's going to shoot just as well as anything else. You might find something that shoots an eighth of an inch better, but you have to shoot so many rounds to determine that. And is it even worth it? A spire point bullet is never going to shoot as good as a match grade bullet in my gun or yours. It doesn't take load development to know that, but it's pretty close and it is for hunting. And here I just pulled a random load with the crappy old powder, and it would absolutely work for any hunting application. I really enjoy tinkering with hand loads, different bullets, different powders. It's just fun for me. I don't know that I'm learning anything at this point, but I'm having a good time, and I assume a lot of you are the same way. So if you're a guy still doing your 3-shot ladder tests in .3 increments on powder, go for it. Anything that gets you on a trigger is a good thing, right? I don't think old powder and primers are hot sellers at any estate sales, so if you have as much crap as I do laying around, we got to get to work.